Hey, good morning, guys. Friday morning. I just got back from the sandblaster and I picked up my rims, and I'm going to show you the difference between the arsehole outfit that I went to the first time and a professional company. Um, Unbelievable. So yeah, I'll grab the camera and I'll show you that first. So, the first company I went to, I had them for a week. I went to pick them up, and they were sitting in a mud puddle in the yard, hadn't been touched. These here I dropped off on Tuesday. They were supposed to be ready today. They actually called me yesterday and said they were done. Came out beautiful, on a pallet, all wrapped up and sealed up. Nice, professional. I never had to do anything. I didn't have to unload them or load them or anything. Courteous, friendly, professional people. $10 more a rim, worth every friggin' penny. So they're done. They're ready for epoxy and primer and paint. So I'll unload them today before it does rain. Not that they're going to get wet. They're all sealed up anyhow. So then over here, at the same time, I also picked up two 3/4 inch fine thread nuts for this Heim joint here. This is going to act as my steering shaft support or stabilizer, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to be getting on that. I've got to fabricate a bracket to bolt this to, and so we'll figure that out. For that, I'm going to have to get the column in place temporarily and cut and fit the shaft and all that stuff. Also, I started fabricating a bracket for my throttle pedal assembly, so I want to get on that as well. My cable kit got, I don't know, about a dozen different ends on it. It's supposed to be in today, so yeah, should be able to get everything together for this except for the actual pedal, which I'm going to make out of something. I don't know yet, but I'll figure something out. And yeah, we're going to go from there. So we might as well just get to it, man. All right, so here's my column, and you can see it will accept the shaft. It will accept, there we go. So this shaft is quite a bit longer than what I actually need, which is a good thing, because the piece that I cut off of this is going to fit in here, and then we're going to have this steering knuckle coming off of that shaft to the main shaft and down to the rack. So because I've got a U-joint on each end, the shaft's going to want to wobble around and do all those kinds of things. So that's what that Heim joint will do. Prevent that and keep it true. So first step is to get the column in place, at least temporarily, where I want it, and then I can figure out how long I'm gonna need for my shaft, and then the cutoff will go in here. So there's gonna be some dicking around. The column's probably gonna come out in and out a few times to get this right, but that's what I'm working with, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so I put my column in place pretty much where I want it, height-wise, and I've cut a piece off the steering shaft that I have. I know I've got to cut about 8-10 inches off of it, so I grabbed 6 inches just so I got something to slide into and hook up my other U-joint. So it's just sitting there right now. It's actually resting on the frame rail, so it slides in and out. I've crawled underneath and I've marked my steering, so I've got to cut off on this side of the tape, cut it right around, and that should be pretty close. I might have to take a little bit more off, and before I fit it though, I'm going to slide that rod end on the shaft. I'll just let it float there, then I can get some measurements for my bracket. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this and get her on the truck. Okay, so the first cut worked out perfect. You can see I got room all around my exhaust, no problem. It's in the shaft. I've actually even turned the wheel already, and it works okay. This here isn't connected yet, and it still went pretty smooth. So once that's in somewhere around here, and I'll try and straighten it out a little bit, something like so. I'm gonna make a bracket up. I think I'll just mount it right through the frame rail, and yeah, I'll call the steering done. So that's right on, man. I'm super I thought this would be a lot more of an extreme angle here, but it's not bad at all. And over here it's very, very mild. So yeah, there's at least ½ an inch clearance everywhere. So yeah, we're good. So I'm gonna go out, crawl out from under this thing, and set up outside the frame rail and see what I can do about the bracket for this thing. So there we go. Okay, so you can see where that rod end is here. So all I'm going to do is make a bracket that bolts up to the outside of the frame rail, goes across to the proper depth, and then up, 3/4 inch hole drilled through it, and yeah, should be good to go. Bolt it right through the frame, and call it done. Cool. I'm happy. All right, so here's my bracket. Like I said, this is going to be on the side of the frame rail. This is going to sit on top of the frame rail. There's my hole. It's going to come through. We'll tighten the nuts up accordingly. It's 1/4 inch plate, heavy duty. I even twisted it a little bit of an angle to match the angle of the shaft, so that that rod end should be pretty close to the same angle, or at a 90-degree angle from the shaft, which is where you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead, drill a couple of holes here to mount it, and get it on the frame, get it all buttoned up, call it done. All right, so I've got my bracket installed. I just have to resecure my brake line, and yeah, my steering linkage is done. There, I'll show you what it looks like from the top. There we go. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Everything looks good here, and I have tried turning it. Maybe I'll set up the camera and give it a little spin and show you how it works. So yeah, let's do that. There we go. Okay, so now that we've got the steering completed, I'm going to get on my throttle assembly. So I made up my bracket. And when you're making a bracket up like this, you know, round out the corners and just to pretty things up. Nobody likes to see just a hunk of iron hanging off the firewall. And besides, if you're underneath it doing something and you happen to hit your head on it, you know, you'll get a bruise, but you won't get a gouge and open up your head and bleed all over the place. And I say that because it's probably going to be me. Anyway, so this is going to mount, this edge here is going to mount onto the firewall like so. And when you press on the pedal, the arm's going to come back. Cable's going to be attached here, go through the firewall. And then this thing here has a little hole in it right here for a spring to bring it back when it's when your foot is off the pedal. So I'm going to have to put an eyelet or something on the firewall with the spring attached to it to bring it back. So I'm going to check out, see the fitment, where exactly I'm going to mount it. I've already drilled some holes, so I can mark the holes, drill through the firewall, and test fit everything, run the cable. So that's where I'm at on that, and I'm going to test fit it now, and we'll see how it works out. All right, so got a white marker, paint marker here. I may have to manipulate this arm a little bit, and it looks like I'm going to have to. Should go that way a bit. Or I can just move this over. See how far away it is from the throttle, the carburetor. Might work out pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to manipulate these arms quite a bit. Come here. Oh wait, I'm doing this backwards, dummy. Yeah, this arm's gonna have to come out a little bit. Right about there. It's gonna have to go that way a little bit. I'm going to bend that arm first, make sure before I drill holes. I don't want to drill a whole bunch of holes in my firewall and have it not work. Alright, so where I originally marked my holes is not going to work. I don't know if you can see them there. One mark here and one mark here in white. If I mounted it there, my cable would come out almost right at the distributor, like just missing it. That's no good. So I want to move it over this way. That means I have to bend the arms quite a bit on this thing. So I'll show you what I did. So you can see I bent the crap out of the top one, put it inwards, and I bent the bottom one going that way. So now my cable should come through right around the corner here, somewhere around there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remark the holes. And as far as attaching the cable goes, I got this kit in I was talking about. Now on Amazon, when they showed the picture, it was in a metal tin. Probably, you know, maybe that size there. But yeah, it's just a chintzy plastic thing. And there's really not a whole lot here I can use. Maybe this one. But that's about it. Other than that, I'm going to have to wing it, I guess. I can feed the cable through here, through the hole. Tighten this nut. Grabbing the cable and the throttle linkage at the same time. So that'll take care of the throttle side. The other side, I found this in my dad's magic drawer. It just slides over the ball on the end here. And it's been grooved. It's also got a hole here where I can pass the cable through. Now, what if I was to tap this end here, you know, slide this on, put it in the vise and squeeze it tight, close it up, feed the cable through, put a bolt in there, that should attach it on that end. So I think that's what I'm going to give a shot to. I think this is just, I think it's just aluminum actually. So it should thread pretty easy. And yeah, I'll give it a shot. I mean, worst case scenario is I mess up this piece and figure something else out. Yeah, so I'll try threading it and see how it works out. All right, so I pretty much have this dialed in here. You know, now I'm going to change this end here. I don't like it. There's a crack actually in this thing, so I'm going to change it out. Just do something very similar, and that's my third hand. So because I can't tighten both and hold a wrench on both sides of the firewall at the same time, so I put a wrench on the bolt, duct tape it there, and that allows me to tighten it up on the outside of the firewall. So yeah, I need two ends for my cable. I've drilled a hole for my cable and put the grommet in, you know, so it's there. And the ends, all those ends that I got in that kit, can't use any of them here. Just none of them work. So I'm gonna go upstairs after and see if I got some stuff. I've got a bunch of carburetors with some linkages and stuff on them. I've got tons of motorcycle stuff. There's all kinds of stuff up there. So I'm pretty sure I could figure something out. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, that's about as far as I can go on the linkage for now. But the hard part is done. The actual linkage is made up and the cable is fed through. I got to cut it to length yet, but that's determined by, you know, once I attach this on the carburetor, that'll determine the length of the cable, just because of the throw of the mechanism. So yeah, that's as far as I can go right now on that. But I decided to instead get my flex lines installed, so my brakes are 100%, my steering's 100%, and yeah, it's time to clean up and you know, maybe have a nice cold beer. So there you go. Oh, there you go. A couple of biggies knocked off the list. So, you know, we know it runs. Now it's ready to bleed the brakes, so it'll stop, and it steers. So yeah, all we have left to make this thing mobile is shifter and linkage. Get it in gear. So yeah, those are a couple of big things. Steering and brakes complete. The throttle linkage, yeah, unfortunate. You know, I bought that kit figuring for sure one of those fittings would have to work, but no such luck. So I don't recommend that kit. There's not much in there that's very useful. It was pretty much you know, 20 bucks thrown away. I may use it on something else somewhere, but not in this project. But I've got stuff laying around. You know, I'll root around upstairs, see what I got. Maybe either some motorcycle stuff, or I've got some oddball fittings and weird stuff up there. So I just got to find it. Every time I go up there, I bring something down and use it. So you know, it's a treasure trove of all things good up there. But there's a lot of shit too. No kidding. Yeah. So and the rims, well, they're ready for epoxy, so that's good. Get them sealed up, and yeah, knocking things off the list, man. So it was a good couple of days. New subscribers, thank you very much once again. And if you haven't already, you know, this old guy here could use the moral support, and and I'd appreciate it. You know, hit the subscribe button, and I'd truly be grateful. Don't be shy, leave comments down below. I enjoy the comments. I do try to get back to everybody. And you know, if you're not doing anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.